Okay, so what's the difference between all these terms, feathery brows, hybrid brows? We hear all these names, but what is the difference between all of them? So some of them are, of course, a marketing move. You know, you want to name your technique like something special, something different, something that nobody does. But sometimes, for example, if we take nano brows and hyper realistic brows, it can actually be the same technique. So let's see what is actually the difference. So if we speak about nano brows, or like I just mentioned, hyper realistic brows as well, why nano? What does it mean, the word nano? Nano means very small, yes? So the hairs are created very, very, very thin, very realistic, like a natural hair, like our natural hair is very thin, and we try to repeat the pattern of the natural hair, basically. So that's why it's like nano, very, very thin, very fine hairs. Then hybrid brows. A hybrid, what does it mean? It means we have a combination of something, yes, hybrid. So we have hairs and we have shading, hairs, hair by hair, yes, the technique. And the shading, it's when we fill in the eyebrows. So we have a combination of these two techniques. It means that, for example, we can draw the hairs first, and then in between the hairs, we can create some shading. Like this, we have a combined technique. This technique is very nice, very suitable for those who have not many of their own natural hairs, eyebrow hairs. Like this, we can create this density 3D effect. Or if a client has a lot of hair, but some gap, for example, or she wants to really change the form a lot. And then imagine if she has a lot of natural hair and we just add a couple of nano hairs, let's say on top and in the front, it will look weird. It will not match. She will have a lot of natural hair and then something very sparse around the natural eyebrow. That's when we will use the hybrid technique. So in the hybrid technique, we will combine the two techniques and create the density to match the natural density and kind of 3D effect of the natural brow. Then we have feathery or powdery hairs. So in this case, we are trying to create very soft lines, almost like pixelated, not a very intense and dense in color, but kind of pixelated, soft, feathery, powdery hairs. Such hairs will probably go out of the skin a bit faster because we are working very superficially, and also we don't insert a lot of pigment. And then in the end, obviously our classic hair by hair technique. I will not say nothing special, but it's just the traditional technique where we just simply create hairs. You know, when the technique hair by hair just started, it didn't look actually very natural. It was just those lines into one direction. But now there are a lot of development of this technique, and we have learned to kind of follow the natural hair growth and look how with different clients we have different hair growth directions, so we should follow it to make the results more natural. For example, if the hair grows upwards in the beginning, then maybe it gives this inclination and then grows downwards. So we should respect that direction instead of creating those lines, just like unnatural lines. So voilà, these are the differences. If you need any clarification on these techniques, don't hesitate to ask in the comments.